Oh, here we go on the opening lap. And it was Leonie Bentveld that got a great start, as did Julie Brouwers on the right in the orange and black. Annick van Alphen battling up there. That whole shot, you just see Leonie Bentveld just hanging that foot out. But from the start here, Lucinda Brand into this section of the course just had it absolutely dialed to perfection.
Yeah, what a brilliant start she had. And she has actually got really good at her starts recently. We saw that in a couple of races, and she just wanted to power away. And the group, she knew it was going to be fast racing. She knew it was important to do her own race, because that's how she wins these things. And so every section where she could drop the power down, she did. And she was able to keep repeating that, where in these wet sections, she always found good lines as well. And
yeah, she went through there like a power boat today, didn't she?
Yeah. And yeah, there was still a group at the end of the first lap. But as we see here, Van Anrooy was actually quite a few seconds back at that point, but Brand was not waiting for anyone to latch on. And every time she hit a sand section, she really dropped the watts.
Yeah, great ride from Shirin Van Anrooy today to make her way back from a less than favourable start. Real shame for Alvarado to make her way down here and not able to get beyond the end of the first lap there. We'll get reports, I'm sure, afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out what happened there. And you know, sometimes if you're coming back from an injury, which is something like a knee injury takes a long time to come back from, and sometimes it can flare up and you don't want to make it worse. So yeah, it could easily have been that. But Brand was on fire today, and every time she had the ability to take an advantage, she took an advantage. And these riders tried every single lap, every single time to try and come back, but at one point the elastic was gone and there was no opportunity for them to do that.
And that's what the difference with a course like this is, and that's why it's so tough, isn't it? Because there's no massive climbs, there's no descents. You're on the gas all the time. You're in and out every single corner. You saw every single turn, Lucinda Brand and everyone else. You're on the gas. It's a bit like a criterion.
And there's zero recovery, and it's hurting the whole time. And you know, Van Anrooy was able to come back up to Van Alphen, and she looked super, super strong in the middle of the race and was looking like she was going to be able to drop and ride away as well. Her lines were super good. She was out the saddle every time, but Van Alphen is really does not give up this year, which is something which is extraordinary to discover that when you have good form at the same time. You know, she is not a quitter, and we saw this coming together.
Rubbin's racing, as we say. I would call it gritty determination that she's got this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's perfectly fine. They weren't really touching, were they? It's non-contact sport, but it's fine. They were actually very respectful there. I've seen worse. But this was how they battled for the whole of the race. You know, one was better in one section, one was clearly better in the other, and neither of them were giving up. But this is the point where Van Alphen attacks. She attacks into the sand, wants to carry that speed. Van Anrooy's already thought she was going into that sand first, and yeah, huge gap formed the next time we saw them in the race.
Yeah, really used from the grass through the big puddle into that sand and used it to her advantage. And I think having this race not on her program, it's good to see her here taking second. But Lucinda Brand crossing the line, emotional. We'll hear from her after the race. Great second place for our World Cup leader from Seven Racing, Annick van Alphen. And then for her, and it is a great return to the podium for Shirin Van Anrooy here.
Yeah, it really is. It's great for her to be back at the front. She's young, she's strong, she's going to progress every year, and she's technically good, and she's quite small as well, so she's really got great cornering as well. And so, yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to hear what Brand has to say about today as well, because what another solid victory for her. So
great slow-mos of our podium. What a day it has been for Lucinda Brand here in Sardinia. Let's go and hear from her now. Our top 10 looks like this here in the elite women's race in Terralba in Sardinia. Lucinda Brand takes it ahead of Annick van Alphen and Shirin Van Anrooy, Leonie Bentveld, Sara Casasola, Manon Bakker, Denise Betsema. Best World Cup results for Rebecca Garibaldi and Lucia Bramati, with Anna Marie Verst rounding out our top 10.
Congratulations. You began quite early in the race to push.
Yes, there were a few sectors here on the course which were hard, and Aniek got a little bit stuck, and I had the momentum in the sand, so I thought just try to push it straight away and let's see what comes from it.
And then it was just a question to consolidate what you had.
Yeah, in the beginning I thought, that's quite a challenge. It's not super easy to ride alone, but then I think it was the end of the second lap, then it was one by one. So, and Shireen was really close behind. It's always in your adventure, of course, to have your teammate there. It always gives a little bit less morale to the other riders to keep pushing.
It was quite an emotional finish. What went through your mind, Lucinda?
Yeah, it was for home.
Okay, I guess the situation at home is not ideal at the moment.
No, not at all.